ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Global Tech Impact on Indian CV industry. We are here at the Commercial Vehicle Summit 2024. I'm here with Mr. Ajesh, co-founder of Tride and Ozone Motors. How are you, sir?
Doing great, doing great.
Great.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So, with the Lok Sabha elections around the corner, sir,
Yeah.
how are the sentiments in the industry right now?
The industry wants the current government to extend, at least from my perspective as such, because if you see the last 5 years or 10 years, specifically the last 5 years, the growth in this industry has been tremendous. Especially I work in the EV industry, so I see a lot of push from the government. And any industry to grow faster and to be able to be in a hyper growth or rapid innovation, there has to be a lot of government support, and because that builds in the sentiment, that builds in the infrastructure needed, and that translates into the people trying to adopt it, right? So I think that is what is where we see this government should be there, because the number of highways that is constructed and the new tech that are coming up for clean energy, moving to from oil dependence to other alternative energy, the clean energy source from the solar and wind. I think all these are growing at a rapid pace. So for me personally, I just want the same government to be there, because there shouldn't be a speed breaker, right? I don't see that it might not work at all if the other government comes, but any new transition happens, there is a speed breaker. They will immediately halt most of the things, then have their own plans of growth. So that is where I feel that if this happens, it's great.
How is business at your company, and how is the start of 2024 for you, sir?
Start of 2024 has been great. So for us, we get a lot of, I have two, as you mentioned, two startups. One is we make vehicles, electric vehicles. We are India's first born EV. Basically, we designed it from scratch in India. And we see a lot of adoptions and a lot of requirements coming in from use cases from different industries, verticals as such. And then we also work on the entire AI for mobility. So we are among the earlier players in that space. So mobility is transitioning into obviously software defined. So Tesla had shown us that software defined cars are possible, right? But commercially it has not become available in commercial vehicles. So what we have taken as a forte is to make it rapid adoption in the commercial vehicle. And we have seen a good amount of interest since last year. And from beginning of this year, we have seen more interest in terms of ADAS. I think this comes in the wake of making sure the vehicles are much more safer. The road safety is important. The driver monitoring is very important. So while there is an ROI factor of it, I think the government is also pushing for the safety and reducing the number of accidents. So I think both put together, the adaptability is going to be stronger, and we expect the year to end at a very good note for us this year. So more business to come, and the cost of the products also reducing, because commercial vehicles are very particular about their ROIs and the purchase power. So we have to work according to that.
So the Indian CV industry is going through massive technology transformation. How is your company adapting and contributing to the same?
Yeah, it's great because we have, one is we have built an electric platform, which is a scalable modular platform. So I can build a small 500 kg payload truck to about a 4 ton truck as well on the electric, and with the battery density can be changed according to what is needed. If you need to be in urban, you can have a smallest battery density. If you need for long distance, then you can have a bigger battery or a swappable battery options and things. And I think what will happen is the cost of transportation could reduce because the dependency of oil will go down. And in terms of technology, we work way ahead in the technology. A lot of fleet operators are using our tech. It is helping them work with their ROIs. So we save a lot of money, because you have to monitor your vehicle regularly, from preventive, proactive maintenance, drivers, if they're using the vehicle, the environmental conditions and things like that. With EV, it became very easy with the CAM port giving that, but with the OBD port too, today with the ICE also it's possible. So I think rapidly we are going to see higher efficiencies coming up with adoption of technology. And today everyone wants to know where the vehicle is, how the performance of the drivers and the others are, right? So ROI has also become a very big factor. And a transition of purchasing from regular people to e-com express and other websites and other things is increasing. So these players are doing the last mile and mid mile transition. So I think that is where the big factor is coming in, and I think technology is contributing a lot. and will be contributing a lot more to that.
Things may be a bit slow right now due to the elections.
Yeah.
So, how do you see the industry performing through the rest of the year?
For me, this is a great time for R&D. Spend more time in trying to make sure that you work on the products that you're looking at, the refinements that you're looking at, what you want to. See, always the auto industry, not only every industry has to, but I'll specifically say in auto industry, you normally work for 5 years ahead, right? You don't work for what is the model today. You work for 5 years ahead or 10 years ahead. There is a rapid transition happened of EV, which people didn't expect. People were expecting 2027 to be a starting point and 2030 to be a point where it's going to be in the inflection point of growth. But we have already seen a great inflection point reached out in the three-wheeler industry in the EV, mostly in the cargo side, right? So now every logistic companies, every logistic players are looking at this point. So I think what people were planning for 2025, 2027 has to be done by 2024, 25. And I think with the election time, I think you have enough time to sit and do an R&D and plan it out. And also policy frameworks and others can be defined so that you can get more support from the government. So if the government comes back after election, whoever comes, they will have something in that platter to work with. So I think that is where industry has a great time to work right now and present it to the government, and hopefully it gets translated into some good avenues for us to grow.
Rightly mentioned, sir. So last question, what are your future growth targets for the rest of the year?
We expect to at least sell few thousand vehicles, at least get into pre-production. Already we have interest from, so I expect my production line to go in, raise some funds and get the production up and running. And in terms of the AI module, we want to make sure we are there in at least 500 trucks ADAS system. And hopefully we get a player who is interested in autonomous bus as well. Try to see for very specialized use case. I don't see autonomous is going to be used on our highways very soon, but there are use cases in airports and other places, ports and other places where autonomous can be used. So I think, as you just mentioned in the last, what is the industry looking for? I think that is where we are talking to OEMs to say that why don't you look at this avenues to start working on, so that by 2027 you are able to get an autonomous vehicle out, which probably would have been at 2035 and 2030. Right. So hopefully that happens in the next 7-8 months.